Hi, so welcome back. So yeah, I went ahead and I've done the right side as well. So all three of them were working. And so if you remember, the locators were in a group. We're just gonna select their group and then um, um, shift select the head control and press P so that oops, I think in my case I've already done it. Let me just go. Yeah, so in your case it was this. They were in a group, and then we shift select the head control and press P to make the locators the child of the head control group. Alright, so now we are going to create actual circular controls for this. And you might be asking the question why we didn't do it in the beginning. Well, it's for that Uber control that we might need, because these could have been blend shapes or joint based setup, whichever you preferred. It's kind of, the setup is similar. So I'm going to create just a nerve circle. I want to make sure the history is deleted. So edit delete by type history. It's all clean. What I like to do is just holding on to a middle mouse button and then V key, snap to that locator for now. There we go. And then I can just rotate this now 90 degrees. This is what the animator is going to see, so it's good to spend a bit of a time in trying to get it in the right place. And it's okay to shape wise to rotate it a bit, just for graphical user interface. Left eye brow in underscore CTRL control, and then freeze transform. So cool. We then duplicate this like so. Again, as long as the pivot is there, or close, we're gonna maintain the offset to a certain extent anyway, but you can you can play with this. Once the pivot is there, we can rotate it, of course, just the way we want initially. I'm going to set this to object. So that I can see its direction. And then freeze transformation on this one. This one, left eyebrow mid control. And then I can get this closer at component level, and just get it closer to the eyebrows, like so. Pivot can stay there, it's not a problem. And then the third one, again, we can do similar things. Rotate it. That's it. So what I want to do, like to let's see, we can then select these and shift select our locators, and we can go to constraint parent option box. I'll do a maintain offset. Let's see what we get. Yeah, it works. Same for this. And same for that. Cool. Now we can have a padding, a group on top of this. So we can say, I'm just going to grab the name, Control G, center pivot, GRP, and center pivot, of course. Okay, that's functioning. Right, what we would like to do is, I've got another circle that I've designed. I didn't want to spend time in here, so you know how to just create your controls anyway. I kind of designed it around here. Maybe I might, now that I've got those shapes, let me just see how they look. If they're too big and bulky, and you can go back and at component level just make them smaller if you wish. Just wanna push this in a bit. Actually, this is it. I think we can. Oops. Almost there, I think. I could bring these out a bit. Okay. So now that I've got this control, I'm just gonna delete the history, freeze the transform, left eye browse underscore see main control, main control. Here we go. And what we would like to do under the, in our outliner, we can select these three groups and make them the child of this one and press P. That's it. So let's see how it works. Yeah, so collectively we can move them. It's interesting because we don't have joints set up. The rotation works as well. It's not perfect, but it works. Okay. So that's that. What we're going to do now, again, to achieve this effect, what we can do, we can select this thing in its entirety, group it to itself for now, duplicate the group, left eyebrow, main control, GRP, that's the first one, and with this one we can put a minus there, but just be aware what it does. Let me just see. I want to zero these out, making sure that we are okay. Yeah, we don't want to have weird values there. This one we can select this and then search and replace first. Left with right, so everything is there. Brilliant. Okay, now so what we are going to do, one thing we need to remember, maybe they brought in no, there are no connections, which is brilliant. Okay, so let's select these and then shift select their locators, go to constrain, parent with a maintain offset on, rotation and translation. It's good to reset it and just double check. Always check the values, you know, you might have tested things and then you forgot, and you know, just be aware of that. All right, let's see. Brilliant. Great. So what you can do, now that you know where those locators are, and then you can select those locators, find their groups, not the head control, obviously, the locators, and then press Ctrl H to hide them, just the group. Here we go. Now we are left with these. So the left and right eyebrow controls, we can center their pivot, center this pivot, we can select both of them, Control G that, eyebrows, controls underscore GRP. And what I like to do, turn on my joints and then bring their pivot, press D key and then snap to the point. I think that's the head joint. There we go. Press D again, turn off the snapping mask, something like that. Make the eyebrows controls to the child of the head control. And let's test it. Turn off our joints. Right. Okay. It's cool. In and of course the individual controls, they seem to be functioning as well. Let's go back. There's one thing that we haven't covered much, and that if your character requires, if you've got a blend shape that is actually pushing the, in my case I've kind of done it in the blend shape, I pushed the mesh a bit out, but if you've got a blend shape that has got And in fact, for all those three, there is up and down, and also the out as well, where you compress the mesh, and then obviously to hold the volume, as you know, the mesh will actually squash, and then you will have the volume there. That volume doesn't disappear. If you've got something like that, you can utilize this as well. So the whole thing, where you're out and down, you can also do that. The next thing is to go in and decide on your colors. So object display, drawing overrides, enable overrides. Say, for argument's sake, if we want to keep I don't know, blue for these guys, let's see what we get, or any other distinct color that I don't want to have the same green color that I have on the head. I don't want to mix it up, but it doesn't matter. Okay, and for these guys I can have a bit of a yellowish color perhaps. Didn't go well. Oh well, it's like an FK setup anyway, so it can have yellow as well. Let's see. And I can have red on these. It's your preference, whatever. It's not a great red. There we go. That's it. And finally, again, these guys don't do rotation, the individual ones, so scale and rotation can be lock and hidden. You don't want to mess up the graph editor. You don't want the animator to keep looking for keys, so you can also lock and hide the visibility as well. If you're going to do a control where you can turn off the entire facial setup, it's better to turn the visibility of the groups. You can hook them up in the node editor, turn it on and off, like we did with the FK-IK setup. So with these controls, just the translations, and in fact I don't have translate Z for these, so I can even lock and hide them. This one is just up and down. It's just these two for now. This one is X and Y. And with these, yeah, I don't have Z yet. I mean, if I have a blend shape where I need Z, I can just bring it back, but it's Z and all the scales. I'll leave the rotation. Okay, so that's kind of, nothing happens in Z. There's something on rotate Y, maybe, just maybe. And I'll save my file if I can. Oh, please, Maya. Brilliant. So what we're going to do in the next session, we're going to do the same setup for the mouth. So we've got the mid, the main mid control, the lip end, and lip out or whatever, lip mid, lip main, or I can't remember the names. We're going to do the same setup for the right side. Bottom and the top and the end bit are going to be mirrored to the other side, like we did in the middles, we don't mirror them, they're just middle controls. One final thing, in human face, you know that this part also, you've got some wrinkles, and that also follows the eyebrows. So if you want to have a blend shape there that does that, is fine. But once we finish the mouth, the lips, there are two little subjects that we're going to discuss. Well, one of them is actually an interesting one, which is called combination blend shape. What happens when three things happen? For example, if I bring this up, and then I want to bring this up as well, and I want to bring this up, then I realize that when I have all three blend shapes triggered, say if the animator is posing this, I actually, rather than having this, if I want to have a flat eyebrow like that, well, then there is an option where you can combine all those three blend shapes and just edit that combination one, and when the animator poses this, you have control over that. You decide how the end result is going to look like, and we're going to talk about that. And finally, we're going to wrap up with some tweaker controls if we need it. That's it for now for this one. In the next one, I'm going to show you the mouth controls and the cheek puff. Thank you for listening.